Good morning, North Point. Welcome, whether you're joining us from home or in person or like me on vacation. We wanted to say welcome to you. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you have your communion ready. You can either grab cookies and milk or, I don't know, spaghetti tacos and mineral water, whatever you have. If you're in person with us, our communion items are in the back of the room by the back doors. Trust me, nobody's going to look at you if you have to get up and go get them. Just make sure you have them ready. And while I'm here, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about adventure and journey. I'm in the appropriate place for it. And in thinking of all of the different changes that have happened just over the last couple of weeks, I mean, number one, my firstborn, my daughter, graduated from high school. And my son, Jack, graduated from elementary into middle school. And I can't help but think what wonderful things are coming their way. You know, new adventures, new people, new friends, new experiences. And that's all great. But me as a mom, I immediately think, oh my gosh, did I prepare them for this? You know, do they have everything that they need? Did they listen, you know, over the last 18 years for Avery? Did she listen? Is Jack going to listen? You know, are they listening? And then I got to thinking about, you know, my journey with Christ, you know, my relationship with God. And you know what? He does the same thing. Hey, Rochelle, are you listening? Do you have everything that you need? You know, did you listen to me, you know, last month when I told you don't do that, or when I put that person in front of you, you know, to kind of help direct your path or guide your path? Were you listening? Are you listening? It's like a big wake-up call. So I wanted to challenge you guys, you know, this week. As you go through your week, make time. Make time, you know, for God. Make time for meeting other people. You know, spend time there. Listen to Him. Find a place. If your life is too busy, like right now, there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's traffic. There's people walking by. I know y'all can't see that, but, you know, there's a lot of distractions. Reduce your distractions. You know, the Bible says in Psalms that, you know, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light on my path. And, you know, we need to hide those words in our heart, and we need to, you know, study more and, you know, meet Him more. So that's my challenge for you guys this week. Make time, meet Him more.
Well, it's good to see you again. Actually, it's seeing the camera, but I totally imagine you being right behind the camera. I feel like I'm talking with you right now. I hope you feel the same way when you hear my words. We're going to start a new series this summer about the red letters. When you hear red letters associated with the church, the red letters are the way that the words of Jesus have been, over the years, highlighted in certain kind of Bibles that are published. So there's the black letters, which is the majority of the Bible, and then the red letters, which are the words that Jesus actually said. So my question is, are they really worthy of being highlighted in red? Are they really worthy of being set apart as different than the other words in the Bible? Are they more important than the other words? You know, all the ones that are written in black. There's been debate throughout the years. It's pretty heated in some circles. And I guess I'll give you my answer to that a little later. I think I'm going to save my answer to that question for the end of this series after we've looked at a bunch of the red letters. I'll spend maybe a few weeks in August talking about the words of Jesus in general and the relationship between his words and the rest of the words in the Bible. Should be pretty interesting. I hope you are around for that. For now, let's just say we're going to place some real importance on the words that Jesus spoke. Words that go a long way towards defining what it means to be a follower of his. And some words that I think are often really ignored in the modern church experience. When we moved here years ago, we bought a house. We had had a little bit of experience buying houses in California, but coming to Texas, it was a new deal altogether, and so frankly, we placed a lot of trust in people that we didn't know, and so forth, and so we bought a house. We met the people who were selling the house. They were really nice people. They had lived there years and years. It was right in the neighborhood that we wanted to buy, which was really close to the church building. And what we found out some years later was that they had covered up some things. They had not really fully disclosed the nature of the house. Now, I could give you a list of all of the things that they didn't disclose, but one of them was they didn't disclose how bad the foundation was. And we had never really been concerned about that in California. That wasn't an ongoing discussion much in buying houses, at least where we had chosen to live. But here, the foundation is a big, huge deal. And I'll just say this, they didn't tell the whole story. In fact, they didn't come close to telling the whole story. Too many of us have been sold a house with a bad foundation and wallpaper over the real truth. I think there are too many who have come to faith in Jesus, who have come to him and they expect to get something. Now, I'll be the first one to admit the list of things that we receive when we come to Christ by faith is huge. But the problem is, I think some of the stories that float around out there about what you get if you come to him by faith are simply not consistently true. There are people who believe that when they come to faith in Jesus Christ, they're going to get great health if they haven't had it already. They'll get money. They'll get a good life. problems that they have in their lives will be fixed. It's kind of like come to Jesus and everything's going to be great. I think we're all a little guilty on this. I think there are a lot of us, the majority of us, sometimes have been so anxious to tell or believe the benefits of becoming a follower of Jesus, we have neglected the clarity and the necessity of our response, our part of the bargain. Are we telling the whole story? Yeah, I think not. Jesus had just told his disciples that he must suffer and be rejected and ultimately killed. This is part of the story as his life on earth is winding down, and he begins to speak of what it meant for his young disciples to follow him. And in Matthew chapter 16, verse 24, we read these words. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." Deny yourself and take up your cross. The taking up your cross part, they would have understood immediately. In their culture, anybody carrying a cross down the street or anybody carrying a cross out on the hillside meant that that person was on their way to die. And not just die, but they were on their way to die the most excruciating and humiliating death that a human being could endure. They were going to die on a cross. The disciples knew that. The disciples had seen that with their own eyes. So they knew what it meant to take up a cross. But what about this self-denial stuff? What did Jesus mean to deny ourselves? You could go on the internet these days. You don't even have to go to the internet. You can go to books like I have on my shelf. And there are thousands, literally thousands of sermons on what it means to deny yourselves. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of books and blog posts and commentaries. Thousands of explanations of people trying to help us understand what it means to deny ourselves. Now I'll say this. It's a complex concept. And it's got a lot of different sides and a lot of different applications. But for today, in these few moments that we have, I want to give you my simple 2 cents. Denial is not the same thing as deprive. Self-denial is not the same thing as self-deprivation. You can deprive yourself of all kinds of things for all kinds of reasons. You can deprive yourself of bad things for your own good. And the truth is, you can deprive yourself of good things for your own good. Now, self-denial is different than depriving yourself. Self-denial is deeper. It comes from a different place inside of us, and it goes to a different place. It's something that is, I think, developed not in our head, and really not even in our heart, but it is developed deeper in our souls. Look how Jesus concludes this little part of the conversation in Matthew 16, in verses 25 and 26. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit his soul. Self-denial is the replacing of my big picture for my life for God's big picture for my life. Self-denial is saying, not what I want, Lord, but what you want for me. Self-denial is replacing cultural expectations with kingdom expectations. Self-denial is love, not hate. Forgiveness, not retribution. Kindness, not anger. Peace, not fighting. Self-denial is acceptance and not judgment. Sharing, not keeping. Self-denial is what did Jesus do, not what do I want to do. You see, self-denial is a red letter life. As we come to the table of communion today, I want to remind you that a disciple is a student. A disciple is a learner. A disciple of Jesus means a follower of Jesus. Somebody who hears his words and puts them into action. Someone who follows right behind his steps and does what he does. A disciple of Jesus is a student of his teaching, a learner of his ways, an apprentice in his school. I think there's this huge disparity between Jesus' first century call to deny yourself and take up your cross and the actual day-to-day life of a person who claims to believe in God and believe in Jesus in the 21st century. But I'll tell you this, the call has never changed. The call to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow him has never, ever changed. The red letters are still the red letters. They are still the words of Jesus. And the message and the meaning of the cross have not changed, not one bit. So remember that as you eat the bread and you drink the juice of the Lord's Supper today.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemy till all my fears are gone.
As the Apostle Paul would say, grace and peace be with you all this week. From the bottom of my heart, wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you interact with, may it be seasoned with grace and with peace. Don't forget, as we begin the process of denying ourselves and following Jesus more closely, we will start to look more and more like him. And as we look more and more like him, we will look less and less like the world that we live in. And that is great news. Let the red letters be your guide this week, everywhere you go. Until next time, see ya.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, I will live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, I will live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, oh, we live for you. And I